folks. Hello and good morning. It's Jilly Beans here, and I am Single Mominate. I am talking about day number 3 in the Catherine Sellery's 5-day parenting reboot. So we had day number 3 yesterday, and it was another great day of eye-opening things to think about. So here we are today at a park with a couple of my kiddos and a doggy. Yeah, so day number 3, we talked about how important it is for all of our kids to have one-on-one time with us, and to recognize that each child really needs that. At least like 20 minutes a day, we were saying. At least 20 minutes a day, or have a date once a week with each of them, or something like that. But that alone time can be really, really good for kids. And sometimes they act out, and there's that need that they can't even determine. They don't know what the need is, but they just feel like they need something. And that alone time with your kids can really make a big difference in having them have peace. We said that you are enough. You're enough. You as a parent, you're enough for your kids. And we also talked about coming together and being grateful for what we have. We had a whole discussion about how just parenting during the pandemic, it was really hard for a lot of moms because the kids were home with the parents all the time, but the parents weren't available as they used to be because the kids have never seen the parents work before, and they didn't understand why they couldn't give the kids enough attention. Like the kids were like, where you have to make another phone call? Like, what's important to you here, you know? But oh, you okay? That's okay, you're alright. So we talked about celebrating what we all have together, like just coming in a circle or coming together and just celebrating what we do have, and then also mourning what we're missing. Like you can't have all of your needs met all at the same time in a given moment or time, but just to mourn together and to acknowledge those things that the kids are suffering about, or the whole family is suffering about. Just getting together and mourning them, and then coming together and figuring out what they want, you know, or how to make changes. So we also talked about blame, the blame game, and the pattern of blame that comes up in people's lives. Just like not taking accountability for actions or different things like that, and how that starts with the parents. That I'm accountable for my responses to my kids, whether they're throwing a tantrum or whether they're like crying because of a certain reason or whatever it is, but I'm responsible for my own responses, and that can trickle down to them. And because if the parent blames, and I can see how I blame sometimes, or I even can threaten and then blame, it's important to recognize that and know that I'm responsible for my responses. And oh yeah, we talked about certain things that are patterns. Like for instance, my kids, they like to leave the laundry around all the time. Like it's so easy to put the laundry in the basket, but they're just not remembering it, you know. But for me, that's really annoying. It's like, it's so simple. I've asked you 100 times to put your laundry, you know, like that type of thing. But instead of just continuing that pattern of nagging and yelling and all the reminding, really just sitting down. If there's a consistent issue, sitting down and saying, hey, you know what? It's really important to me that we have a clean house. And it's hard for me, put the responsibility on yourself. It's a problem for me that you leave your laundry on the floor, you know, and just really sit down and have like a somber conversation with them when you're not elevated, you're not heated, and say, do you think, well, how could we problem solve together? How could we make this better so that I won't have to step on all your laundry, or that I won't have to put away your dishes, but we can still have a clean house? Do you think you could help me out by, you know, like instead of coming down on them, bring them into it, bring them into a conversation, you know? So that's a really key thing, is problem solve together, you know? And another thing we talked about is, say there's a struggle going on with your kids, there's resistance or there's defiance or there's rebellion, whatever it is, something like that, you stay, good girl. Instead of trying to make them be where we think they should be, like, you're fine, just go to camp, like, there's nothing wrong with you. Instead of trying to push them where we think they should be, meet them where they're at before it gets escalated and open up a conversation. Meet them where they're at, like, acknowledge their feelings, and you say, like, yeah, I understand how that would be a hard thing for you. I can understand why you're sad. And then work through the situation towards the desired goal together. So just acknowledging their feelings is a really important thing. It's a great way to have connection and to really form a good bonding relationship. So, and we talked about a couple of ways that we can just appreciate each other and feel better and be more connected as a family. And one of those is, like, say at dinner time when you're all sitting down or something, you can all focus on one kid and everyone can go around in a circle and say, what do we like about Darlene? What do we like about Leona? And we can all go around and say what we like about each other, which is a really nice thing. Because we talked also about how important it is to just to let your kids know that you love them, you know. And it's easy to fall into patterns of clean up this, clean up that, you didn't do that, do your homework, get this done, and be the one to kind of just constantly be making sure they're doing what they got to do and be on the ball. But those bonding moments of really appreciating each other makes a huge difference in their lives, immediately and in the long run. So before bed, another thing is, like, before bed you can go around each of them and, like, maybe even we did this last night when they're in their beds, we can go around and say, okay, Sam, what are 3 things that you're proud of yourself of today? And then he can tell you, and then all your kids can have a turn, and then of course you have to go too, about what you're proud of yourself for that day. So those were all the notes that I took about day 3 in Catherine Sellery's Parenting Reboot class. There's some such valuable information in there, and there's such amazing people there, and I'm really grateful to be part of this group. The link below will help you get connected with Catherine Sellery. She's been doing this for decades, and she has so much wisdom and understanding, and she's worked with so many families to help with communication and bonding and just relationships, and I'm really grateful to be a part of it. And yeah, click the link below. I got a couple links down there. Check those things out. Give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be grateful for that for sure. And give me a comment about what you think about conscious parenting. Have you looked into it at all? It's a pretty amazing way of parenting. It's very respectful and what's the word? Like, it's just very thick and authentic, and I love it. I think it can really help kids grow up to be who they are and know how to love themselves and know how to love other people with having boundaries and such. So, all right, folks, well, here we are signing out for the day, and you all take care, and we will see you next time. I'll tell you about day number 4 after it happens. Okay, bye. What's going on, guys?